The rumors house swirled about the US East Shore town of Baltimore in 1895 were extremely inexact. The speech on the road was how the Loan household industry had closed. So Javale Loan, who at the period ran the industry, how done sales, box awnings, tents, flags and car relating, allocated a pilot to set the recording direct. It told, not, old man J.W. Loan, has not lost out of industry, yet lot several human beings may believe as. Take a jab at the resource of the erroneous rumor, perhaps a rival, it added, yet lot more than several some human beings may say as. The household industry was instead of prosperous behind later, and is yet in penalty fettle present, now named as Loan Brothers. He's not a bad accomplishment for an company how begun by manufacturing sea vessels sales in 1815, and above the following 202 year excited to its present attention on side tents, machinery and box awnings. In alone at the steering wheel, the industry has kept 6 generations of household property. The speech pull-through can be relevant for any such a industry, taking into account the added burdens how work in loved ones can give, such as precisely that nephew should possess the hot chair. In reality, just on 3% of household firms do it to the 4th generation and 4, on to publishing the household industry overview. I believe we've had a lot of good luck in lot ways, says Brian Loan, 55, the company's present CEO. While one production dead downward, we were capable to add else a. Brian owes his calling of 30-year to Joseph Loan, a sailing manufacturer of Portsmouth, England, who took his trading to Baltimore in 1815. Joseph couldn't include selected a superior location to set oneself in the U.S. Baltimore had a profound harbor how stipulated lot of sea vessels in requirement of crisp sails. And as the East Shore's largest western harbor, it was as well a launch spot for lot header internal, therefore the trading in car relating. As sun took above of dad and vapor took above sailing, sailing making was practically lost by the begin of the 20th age. But later awnings as a initial resource of cool for the stifling Baltimore summers became all the band. As air conditioning came in, declining the awnings department of the industry in the conduct up to the 1950s, camping making and camping rentals became the initial income flow. Quick striker to present, and the business has on 85 employees and an annual revenue of on $5 million, pound. In supplement to employing out tents for all of marriage receptions to conferences, it hires a army of some things require for a big beat of tables and chairs, to vine spectacles, platter sets and though a dancing story. We are yet ever training to enhance on which we do and how we do he, says Brian, who initially went to school to research training. He investigated training in procedure to profit understanding in a various occupation, as he knew he would include to come the household industry at several spot. While he was on 24 and training in Spain, Brian got a urge of his dad Morgan, who announced he was thought of marketing the industry. During weeks, Brian came behind and begun job by his dad. On 20-year back, Morgan retired and Brian took above. He's sad to tell, but I enjoyed it a lot more than following he leftward, says Brian. Brian says it gave him a opportunity to put his own mark on the household industry, fair love his dad had made while he became lug. Morgan yet helps out sometimes by meeting in on a turnover urge, or drive his son to meetings in neighboring Washington, D.C., so how Brian can get job made in the occupant chair. I found out I was the 5-tire while I came about, jokes Morgan. He deliberately done a pure cut of fleeing the industry while he retired. Instead of he leftward it to Brian, assisted by Brian's sibling Scott. Continuity of generations is not lightweight since you are phase who of, adds Morgan. I'm impressed in which they include made in he. It is really an fulfillment to include a industry for 5 or 6 generations, says Varvara Spector, the text editor-in-chief and connect editor of Household Industry Ammunition Depot. One of lot issues a household company can person, is a trend to trample easily about changing since a subsequent household term might not wish to insult the older general. But you include to adjust or dead, says MS Spector. Same household heritage is business quite rather than making one special item how may or may not be in consumer demand above period. Ms. Spector says how household business community can occasionally be sensitive following the tertiary or for general. By later remote kin might not aware every some so, they might not dwell in the identical town or nation, nor stake lot values on how a company should be work. Cropping the household would, wherever one branches buys out the some branch can surely do things facilitating, she says. If loan brothers will go on in household property above the following general is vague. Brian's two family include interests in another place, and he is cautious not to put blood pressure on them to go in the company. I would be with amazement if my son or child came in the industry, he says. We will crucifix how Axel after, but I'm not planner on he. Loan Brothers is always close by investors needing to buy it. But Brian says he has seen some household business community go downward how way and it isn't nice. Same entire business fair vanishes following a time, he says. They say they will hold all the human beings on, but they don't he. Lot employees at Loan Brothers include treated down there for many decades. They might be the ones Brian chooses to sell the industry to, so it becomes servant owned. They include devoted their lives to he says. If no one in the household wants to get it above, Brian sees marketing it to its personnel as the top way to retain the heritage Joseph Loan begun all such year back. I'm certainly Joseph never mind we would yet be there making the